Target acquired.
Eagle 1, first strike. You have permission to engage the target.
Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
All right. Well, here we are, Gun Prattle, live for the first time on the actual channel. Now, obviously, you guys that have been here for a while, you know kind of what's going on, but we'll dig into this a little more here in just a minute. I've got to gotta post some stuff here, and what's up, CloverTac? I was just about to send you a link so that you could come up in just a couple of minutes. We are live across multiple platforms right now. Obviously, I don't expect a ton of viewership today. I did not really promote this very much, but that's okay. We are live on Rumble, Kick, and of course, YouTube right now. So that's good. And we're going to we're gonna have some fun today. In a few minutes, I'm gonna have CloverTac, who is it's been a great friend so far, and should be always gonna be an asset to my channel anyway. I don't know if I'm an asset to his, but it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna talk a lot today about what the channel is about, why we're doing it, what's going on with it, and what we want to get done, and why we why I needed to do this in the first place. So to start out with, if you were aware, I do have a politics channel. I have it's actually does pretty well. It's not great, but it does pretty well. And in addition to the politics channel, I also do debates. I have a kind of a news commentary show as well. And very often I would just start talking about, shooting and the shooting sports and, what I'd done this weekend at a match, or what, gun I just purchased, or whatever. And it kind of diverts the conversation away from the other shows. So it just made sense to split the Gun Prattle off from the standard Prattle and make it its own thing. Going forward, there's obviously going to be a lot of different types of content over here. There will be match footage. There will be range day stuff. There'll be reviews. There'll be all of those things. But for now, this is where all of the Gun Prattle happens. And I'm going to bring CloverTac up now. What's up, my friend? How are you?
Hey, buddy.
How's it going out there in Texas? I know you're getting ready to go to SHOT.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got a little over a week before we
2
leave.
weeks is what my email said this morning. 2 weeks out.
2 weeks. Industry day at the range is on Monday, so 2 weeks from Monday, if you count that, we'll probably leave on a Friday, so a little over a week for us.
You're driving out though.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm flying out, and I enjoy I don't mind flying. I actually love to fly. I won't be flying myself this time. It will be the case that I will be it will be the case that I take commercial once again, and but I'd fly in Monday, but like stupid late at night. Like I get there I think at 11:45 or something.
It's going to be interesting. And where are you staying? Yeah. MGM, you said?
No, I was going to stay at the MGM, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in depth. But once I registered for the show, it gave me access to a bunch of discounted rooms and stuff, and so I'm now at the TI.
Okay.
So I was going to be at MGM, but it was cheaper to be at TI. Plus, it's a little bit more convenient to be at TI than MGM. So
right.
It was, to me, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, Treasure Island is definitely closer.
Yeah.
Got to cross the street. That kind of sucks, but other than that,
Well, they have the TI has the bridge across, I think.
You may be right. The bridge may be there at Treasure Island.
If it's not there, it's like right next door.
For some reason, I was thinking it was at the old Mirage, but maybe not. Maybe it is. You may be right. Yeah.
I don't remember. It's been a year since I've been in
We're staying at the Link again.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing about the Link is you've got the Caesars Forum that they added a few years back. And the Link, you can walk. I can walk literally from my hotel room into shot, at least at Caesars Forum, without ever going outside. So,
okay,
they've got a skywalk thing. It's all enclosed. It's pretty cool. So, bad weather, anything like that happens, pretty
bad
easy
weather
to get.
in Vegas is low risk.
Except for you say that, and I'm telling you, Mondays on range day on Monday, you've got about a 99% chance of major suckage, like 40-mile-an-hour wind, rain, cold, every stinking year. I don't know what it is about range day on Monday, but the weather is almost always horrible that day. Almost always.
I mean, I believe it.
Of course, that's down in Boulder. That's at Boulder Rifle and Pistol Club. So that's, what, 30, 45 minutes from the Strip, something like that.
Yep. Yeah. So,
hey, question: are you not simulcasting on your Unreasonable Man?
I am not. I should have. I overlooked that. And I don't think I can add it, but I'm checking right. That's actually what I'm doing right now. Because I have obviously way more people there, and they would come in.
Yeah, simulcast, and then you can always unlist it.
Yeah, what I can't. Well, let me see.
I don't think you can.
Let me see. I don't know. I don't know what the capabilities of the software is.
Right.
But we'll find out. So.
There's a few people out there, though. Believe showing up finally. Viking. Are you muted? You're muted. Something went wonky.
Whoops. I didn't mean to mute myself. So let's see. Yeah, it won't let me.
Yeah, wonderful test run.
Yeah.
Now you know. Now you know.
Now I know for sure. So, yeah, I'll figure it out. I will, well, I think part of the reason is I had such a hard time getting Rumble to work.
Oh, yeah.
That I got distracted from getting the rest to work.
Yeah.
So
Rumble sucks. I mean, for what you get. I mean, I find it's not worth it, so I don't even mess with it. But you do your thing and figure that out for yourself.
Well, I came to the conclusion a long time ago that Rumble sucks and it's not worth it. But it does have some things that make sense. Like you can handle firearms there, and there's a bunch of other stuff that you can.
Yeah, I mean, the policy wise, yes, okay, you've got flexibility to do more. But the problem is, if nobody fucking sees it, then what's the point?
Yeah. So
because at the end of the day, it's about reach.
Yeah, Kick is way easier to deal with, and I'm live on Kick right now as well. And obviously there's somebody viewing me over there because I haven't promoted it or anything, and I'll get around to that. Rumble's just really hard to deal with, but there's some advantages to being on there. It's a couple of extra steps setting it up in my software, and I used to really hate it. Like I used to really, really hate it. Now it's just annoying. So, but I'll get that sorted out as time as time goes on. It'll get easier. I'll get it more automated. But yeah, so SHOT Show is going to be really good. So I had a hard time. So let me walk you through this, because I hadn't talked to you about this since we kind of got into it. So I had the NSSF media. I had to get that right. So I got that, and that was actually pretty easy. The lady was like, she looked at my stuff and said, "Okay, your media, fine, no problem."
Yeah, right.
But then I had to deal with SHOT Show and getting their media badge.
Right. Actual registration.
Yeah, actual registration. And it was a back and forth over several days of, hey, what's your main content, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I mean, I talk, basically, at least once or twice a week, we talk about firearms. It's just not a specific episode or something. And that's why I'm splitting off into this new channel is because I do talk about firearms and firearm law and firearm policy and all of that quite often.
Uh-huh.
And so I need to, it's getting to the point where I either need to stop doing it or reduce it, or just simply split it off and do a separate channel. I said, this is where we're at. And he's like, well, why don't you just need an attendee badge and not a media badge? Why do you need a media badge? And I said, well, I read your policy. And since there's a potential, I'll be live streaming. While I'm on the floor there, I'm definitely going to be recording, little clips with people and things like that. I said, your rules say that I have to have a broadcast media badge for that, to be able to do that.
Right.
And then he'd sent it to me, but he made sure to include that I can't buy anything at SHOT Show.
Yeah, nobody can. That's standard.
And you can't. Yeah, right. Nobody can. Like. I mean, you can say, hey, we're going to take 10,000 of these, and call me when you get back to your office. But,
yeah.
But
you could. I guess you could technically, if you was a dealer. I guess you can't exchange any money like hand to hand.
Yeah, you can't physically buy it at the show.
Yeah, technically, if you're a dealer, you could walk in and say, okay, I want 10,000 of these. Transfer some money to a bank account. And then when you get home, you've got, they've shipped them and you've got your 10,000. But
yeah, it's a little clean. I mean, it's even cleaner than that. It's like, if you're the sales guy, you're my rep, right? And I see you at SHOT Show and I say, hey, Clover, man, you know what? We've been selling the hell out of these HKs, man. Do you have 10,000, or do you have 10 of them in stock? And you go, I think we got some in South Carolina somewhere. So yeah, I think we could fill that order. Okay, great. As soon as you're back in the office, send me over a quote and I'll send you out a purchase order. We'll get this done.
Yep.
That you can do that kind of business there, but I can't walk up and say, hey, I want to buy that scope off of the counter and buy it, right? Like, and hand the guy cash. You can't do that.
Yeah.
As far as I know. Now, there was the last time I went to SHOT Show, there was some people, like, I don't know if they were selling it or if they were giving it away for donations or something like that. I don't know. But
so giveaway is a totally different thing. Selling is not. I mean, you will find companies that do it and may or may not get caught. Giving away is a totally different thing. But even then, you can only give away certain things anyway, right?
Yeah.
So like ammunition, and this is one of the biggest things, because with show videos, inevitably I always get comments of some dumb fuck out there that's like, oh, gun safety, you're flagging people, your fingers on the trigger, or you didn't check it to see if it was clear. And it's like, it has a tag on it. It's been checked by security. It's completely disabled. Like,
yeah, they pull firing pins and shit.
So you got to understand that like, wouldn't do you any good to steal anything, even, or whatever, because you're going to get something disabled, even if, whether it's firearms or ammunition, you're going to get something that's disabled. And a lot of times, even optics are not, I mean, they're a shell, but that's basically a shell with like a painted in reticle or something.
Right.
They're not even, they're like a demo or whatever. They're not even the real thing.
Last year, the year before last, they actually had some stuff stolen, like some,
they do every year. Yeah. Every year
they had like some of the HK MP5 clones were stolen. And it's like, well, they're inert, right? Like, there's no firing pins, the barrels are plugged. I mean, it's like a training dummy.
Well, So okay, yeah, at the show, yes. But I will say this: there is the potential for things to get stolen because you have the range days, and
Yes.
not only do you have the industry day at the range, which is the shot show range day, which happens on Monday, but there's various companies that do various range days throughout the week, right?
Hmm.
An example, I've got one on a Sunday or around lunchtime, and then I've got another night shoot on Tuesday. I think,
Mm.
yeah. So, um, the thing is, those companies have the real deal, guns and ammo for those
Yeah.
range days, and they could be in a hotel room or they could be whatever, right? Um, and so there has been instances before where real stuff has gotten it's gotten stolen that way. It happens. But at the show itself, no, you're right.
Mhm.
Everything's going to be disabled or
Yeah.
supposed to be disabled.
Right. And and so the last time I went to SHOT Show, um, it was I mean, honestly, I thought the show was just it went smoothly. There wasn't anything on my end that was a problem at all. Um,
Right.
it was just other than actually getting to some of the booths that I wanted to see because you just had these long queues to get in because of whatever they were giving away or whatever nonsense they had going on.
Yep.
Um, other
And
than
it's
that,
just and it's
I
just
didn't
so
really.
big. There's so much. I mean, you're talking about it's basically two complete floors, a
Mm,
complete set of ballrooms, and then a whole other
mhm.
venue as well. So you've got the downstairs, which is basically the entire basement.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I forgot about the upstairs, which is the supplier showcase. So yeah, you've got one, two, essentially three floors, an entire sector of ballrooms, and a complete whole venue worth of stuff. So it's what 14
Yeah.
before they added Caesars, it was like 12 or 14 acres or something, I think,
Yeah, I
floor
mean, it
space.
was huge when I went, and they had stuff lined. I mean, it overflowed into the halls. They had a
Mhm.
completely separate area for all the tactical flashlights and all of the stuff that was like non-firearm tactical stuff for cops and whatnot, cop shop stuff.
Yeah, they've got
Um,
the it's not necessarily all that. There's some other companies that are in law enforcement too, but yeah, law enforcement is its own separate section.
well, I think it the last time I went, I think it might have even been kind of like a show a show within a show, right? Like it was kind of like the little law like a law enforcement gear expo thing, kind of in a
That's kind
separate
of how
all separate area.
yeah, that's kind of how the law enforcement section is set up, honestly. It's
Yeah,
kind of like its own little thing. Yeah.
yeah, and
All I'm saying is sometimes there are companies that you want to go see that you need to talk with or whatever, and then you look it up and you're like, oh well, shit, they're in the law enforcement, which is not strange because I mean they sell to law enforcement, but
right,
they're not on the main floor with everybody else. So that's one thing as a
it could be
creator when you're
cheaper.
yeah, that's one thing as a creator when you're looking at the companies and who you have to go visit and stuff like that. You need to make sure you know where they're at for sure.
Yeah. So, Shot Show is going to be. I think Shot Show is going to be really awesome this year. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff.
Best
Um,
week of the year, man. Always, always the best week of
what
the
do
year.
you what do you think about how? Because I don't want to spend a ton of time on Shot Show on pre-shot showing things up. But what do you think about how some of these companies that were bought up um, leading up to COVID and now are starting to split back off? Like the one company bought like Surgeon Rifles and they bought a bunch of different. They bought a suppressor company and they bought all of this stuff. And I can't remember the name of it, but it's a huge conglomerate.
Mhm.
And now those companies seem to be breaking up or at least breaking pieces off and selling them off into being their own companies again. What do you think about that for the industry?
It happens all the time. I don't know. I don't know what to say other than that. I mean, that
Yeah.
happens all the time. I mean, you get people that talk about, be it a Browning or a Winchester or
Mhm.
a Remington or whoever, big legacy names, right?
Yes.
Henry, let's take Henry.
Mossberg.
Let's say, you take Mossberg, not so much. Matter of fact, Mossberg, not at all. But what I was getting at was that have been bought and sold so many times over the years, right? Like Colt is not Samuel Colt's original Colt.
You're right.
Winchester is not the same. Browning is not the same. Henry is not the original Henry. Um, and there's people that don't know and don't understand that. So they hear the name and they think like it's been, oh, well, that's been the same company that's been around since the 1800s. And it's like, nah, it's been bought or sold like 50 times.
Right.
So that happens. It happens all the time. I mean, just look at those big legacy brands.
Well, I mean,
right?
yeah, look at Dan Wesson is now basically owned by CZ.
Yeah.
CZ
So
is
is
owned by
Colt.
somebody else.
So is Colt.
Yeah.
You know.
Smith and
CZ, did
Wesson is
CZ
moving
buy
to
Fiocchi? Maybe. I can't remember, but it seems like CZ may have bought Fiocchi even.
Oh, that would be cool. I know that Smith and Wesson has been. I don't know if they've been bought, but they've been transferred and they're moving to Tennessee or already have.
Well, but Smith and Wesson encompasses 40 billion brands, though. It's not just Smith and Wesson, right? So you've got Smith and Wesson. I can't remember their knives, but they've got the knife sector, and they've got Crimson Trace is under Smith and Wesson.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know they
yeah,
got.
yeah. There's at least a half a dozen companies that are all part of the umbrella, whatever you want to call it, of Smith and Wesson. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting at SHOT Show. I think it's going to be really good. I'm going to have a great time. The only part I'm also going to do a major podcast interview while I'm out there, and I might be able to bring you on as well. And this is a guy that he interviews random people, but he's had like Don Johnson on several times. He's had just all of these like ridiculously famous people on, and I'm basically I got a buddy of mine who's going to get me in. And so he's like, hey, if you're in Vegas, I think I can get you on this guy's podcast. I'm like, make it happen. I think it's called the Green Room radio show or something like that. Green Room Radio or something like. It's apparently really huge, and I hadn't heard of it, but it'll be cool to be on there. And so that's going to be awesome. And so I'm going to do that while I'm out there, and I'm going to do I need the RSVP to that the gun collective or whatever party that you sent me to, guns.com.
Oh yeah, you need to get all that, Mr. Slacker.
Yeah, you were going to send me more. I was waiting until you sent me everything. You only sent me one.
You need to, as soon as I send you shit, you need to get all that before they close anything out.
Okay, I'll do that.
That's your slackiness, if we could use that as a word, is a learning thing for most people out there. Of course, I deal with this every year with people trying to get into SHOT. With you, it was a little different because you kind of decided late with everything else that was going on.
Well, I resisted,
but I've seen people put it off like all year long, and it's like, fuck, man, you need to be by October. You need to have all your shit lined out. Period. Yeah. Travel, have everything kind of nailed down, and then as soon as they open registration late October, you're signed up, you're good, you're ready to go. Because it's a nightmare and it gets into a time crunch, and it's really weird. I had a guy contact me yesterday. Up until today, is today the 7th? Today's the 7th, right?
Today is the 7th.
Up until today, it was the 15th. They added $150 registration fee, and as of today, they upped it to $250 for the registration fee.
So I actually,
and he called yesterday and I'm like, dude, you're gonna have to, there's no way you can get all your ducks in a row before tomorrow. So he's like, oh man, I don't really want to have to pay $250. I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. You should have, got shit done early.
I didn't know that I was going to get the media pass the way that I did. So I registered and paid already before I got my media pass. Right. So I'm probably going to have to do some kind of like refund or something if they will do it this close to the event.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Probably
I
not.
don't know. I don't know if the NSSF is going to refund anything anyway.
Probably not.
Whatever the COVID thing killed SHOT that one year. As far as I know, they didn't refund a fucking company one. They credited them. to the next time, but
Yeah.
I don't think they refunded nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I that was a mistake. I got, that was just I was making sure one way or the other I was going to get in,
sure,
but
yeah,
um, but now I'm fully cleared. I'm bringing cameras. I'm bringing a couple of wireless mics and things like that, so be able to do
nice.
something while I'm there, and it ought to be really cool.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to kind of switch gears,
Mhm.
and there are two more things I want to talk about. I think that one of them you're probably not going to have a strong opinion on, but you'll be able to discuss it, and the other one you just probably aren't going to care at all. The first is, do you know who Larry Correia is?
The name sounds familiar.
He's an author and he's a gun writer of some. I mean, kind of a gun writer. He mostly writes novels, and he is just a guy who goes around, does a bunch of training, and he talks about guns all the time and firearms advocate.
Uh-huh.
It's a Corriae. Hang on, I'm
Correa, Larry Correa,
Korea. Yeah, correct. How you say it?
Correa. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
and
that sounds familiar. Yeah, it sounds super familiar. But
yeah, he has been absolutely fighting the point shooting, the crowd hand over fist. He is just beating them down, and so he is completely like, you're an idiot if you're teaching point shooting. Like, obviously you need to know how to do it. It's helpful, but that's not what you should be teaching for self-defense. And, there's sights on the gun for a reason, and you should always use your sights. And so what he's done is he's got all of these high speed trainers out there in a tizzy, because what he's done, and nobody has sent him video yet, is he's like, okay, smart guy, send me your group of point shoot. Send me video of you point shooting at 7 or 10 yards, not using the sights. Send me the group and your time, and then we'll compare it against the average idiot's time using the sights, and time and sights using the accuracy. None of the a couple of these guys have kind of done it, but not really. And he is dying on that hill right now. I'm kind of on his side. If I have a red dot, if I have sights, I'm going to use them unless we're literally almost touching. And I have a good index, and I kind of want to fight with him a little bit, because I shoot enough that I have a really good index. And so, like, I actually had the red dot fly off my pistol once.
Yeah.
And I was able to shoot
down the slide.
Huh?
No, you can look down the slide, not a problem.
Yeah. Well, I was just basically indexing and kind of acting like I still had sights on the pistol. I just
what I mean is, yeah, and it has to do with indexing. What I mean is, you present, and your brain sees all of that every single time you present. Yeah. So when you present, even if you don't have an optic, the barrel, the slide, and all, that's what I'm saying, is in the spot it's supposed to be.
Right.
You're not aiming off the slide. That was a bad
yeah.
You're not aiming off the slide.
Your brain knows what to hit this target. It should be somewhere. The gun needs to be somewhere in this area.
Yeah, the slide needs to be in this place, right?
Right. So I was able to actually shoot pretty decently. Now, it was slower. I'm going to be honest with you. It was slower than if I'd had the red dot on there. Sure. But I was able to shoot decently enough to finish the stage and not crash out and not get a bunch of mics and all that.
The argument is for me, the argument is good enough. So when you start talking about group size or all the shots on the target,
that's exactly what he's saying.
That's really all that matters.
Yeah.
So if you are able to get it out quicker, that's an advantage. And as long as you're getting shots on target, I don't see the problem.
Yeah. So what Larry's contention is that, yes, you might be able to get a few center mass, but you're also very likely to get a few misses, like complete misses.
That's not good. So you should probably be practicing, training, and whatever until you can get them confidently, get them all on target.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, if you got misses, that ain't good. you need
yeah,
to
and
pick
it's the
something.
whole instinctive shooting thing, and the you know how you have Jeff Cooper back when he was training guys after World War II, teaching to point your finger along the slide when you're using the 45. But now, obviously, that was with the really shitty government issue sights, which were basically useless. And by the way, you know, pistol back then was just to keep their head down until you got to your rifle, so you
Right.
could actually do work, right?
Yeah.
And
And prior to Cooper, all one handed.
yes, it was one handed. So sorry about that. I have a fan running over here and it just would not shut off. So I had to manually do it. But I'm kind of torn because I understand Larry's point and I actually agree with it because I've seen this at the range on especially the indoor range repeatedly, where I'll listen to some instructor talk about, just being able to just punch out and put a bunch of rounds into a target at like 10 yards. And I'm like, at 10 yards,
that's too far.
That's too far. 7 yards is pushing it. Now, if you want to talk about like three, 5 yards, yeah,
3 and under, 3 and point
3 and
blank.
under,
Yeah.
I can go with you because it's at that point it's such a big target, right?
Yep.
That it doesn't really matter. But
Yep. You're literally, by the time you present at 3 yards, I mean, you're a few feet from the target.
Yeah, if somebody's charging you, for sure.
Like, come on.
Sure. You're
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, 7, I wouldn't even say, 7-point shooting. Like maybe if it's a situation to where they're charging or something, like maybe, but 10 is too far anyway. But here's the thing though, and this kind of goes along with it, is data shows us 3 yards, 3 shots, 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So if the average happens at 3 yards,
Mm-hmm.
then odds are, and they're typically pretty astronomical, the odds that you're going to need to do that anyway. And then once you have been unlucky enough to succumb to those odds, you have to pull, and then the odds are overwhelming. It's going to be, an average of about 3 yards. I mean, you're not going to have time. That's the thing. It's just like you're not.
Yes. But
3 seconds with somebody charging with, and then you're already behind the curve because let's be honest, as in a defensive position, that's the whole reason you're on the defensive, right?
Right.
Like you've been surprised.
And that's,
you're behind the curve to start with. So, like,
right. And that's actually a really solid point. And one of the things now, I am not, just for anybody watching this in the future, 5 years from now, that want to come back and crucify me for this. Here's the deal. I'm not a defensive firearms coach. I don't teach police officers or anybody else how to do anything. I'm a guy who shoots a shit ton, and I've been in a fight or two, and I understand the dynamics of that environment. And so from my point of view, has always been, if you're within 3 yards of me and I haven't already identified you as a threat and at least have my hand on my pistol, I'm dead anyway. Like I mean, there's just no, there's, and normally I would like to already have it kind of like out behind my, in my pocket or behind my leg or something like that. If you're that close, right? Like you're allowing somebody within, 10 feet of you that may be willing to do damage to you. Now, obviously, you could be walking down the sidewalk and so, like we just saw in New York, I believe it was, that lady's just standing there waiting for the bus, and this dude like hits her in the head with a stick with a nail in it and blinds her in one eye. So that could happen, and you've got no recourse. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a known aggressor 9 feet away, and you drawing and being able to put something on there. And that's actually where I think there's a lot of value in some of the stuff the guys down in Atlanta and and Florida and some other places are teaching where they're doing the, you know, the really, really close in, like, you know, put your arm up and block them and keep them away, and, you know, all that stuff. And I don't do that, right? But I don't, and obviously, you may not.
I nearly shot myself one time trying just training that way and practicing that way.
Yeah.
With like the push off moves and stuff like
Right.
that.
Right.
You got to be really, 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 really careful. I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
shoot myself. Don't get me wrong, but when you land a shot 2 inches from your arm, you know, that's a little wake you
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. It's sporty. It's sporty.
Yeah, it'll
Um,
wake you up.
and I will also say that there are guys like Taryn Butler out there who, you know, the other day he put a video up of him. He had no sights on the pistol whatsoever, and he was ringing steel at like 15 or 20 yards, right?
Yeah.
But and he shot a plate rack at probably 15 or 20 yards.
Yeah, you just need a point. You just need a point of aim. That's all you
Right.
need.
Yeah. But that's Taryn Butler, who does it every single day.
You know,
he knows, you know, he knows what it's supposed to look like. He knows what it's supposed to feel like.
Yeah.
And Brian Enos, in his book, Practical Shooting Beyond the Fundamentals, talks about how you need to, one of the best things you can do is develop an index and know where, you know, have an idea, have your brain work in such a way that it knows kind of where that muzzle's pointed at all times, even if it's down by your leg,
right,
or whatever. And what he recommended was just go out and shoot dirt clods.
Yep.
Right. And just go into the bay. Don't put targets up or anything. And, you know, just in the berms, just shoot, you know, just, I'm going to hit that dirt clod and just, you know, shoot it from the hip or shoot it from a low ready or something like that. So without actually aiming, and just kind of dial, you know, just kind of program that in. Now, is that going to be faster than aim shots? No. Is it going to be better than aim shots? No, absolutely not. But
it's very similar to shotgunning. Shotgun kind of works like you want your shot to hit where your eyes are, right?
Yes.
It's kind of the way that works.
Yes. Yes.
So,
and the
whole is talking about.
And one of the things I've noticed about using a red dot on my pistol, especially, is when I train with my red dot and I can get to where I can come out of the holster and just punch out and find that thing every single time, I'm so much faster with irons. Ridiculously faster with irons, because you have to bring that grip up perfectly so you can get that red dot. And when you do that with irons, your eye picks up that front sight and brings that rear sight right up into it, and you're so much faster with irons. And as a matter of fact, I think anybody shooting like USPSA limited or production or anything like that, if they train with a red dot, if they have basically the same pistol with a red dot, and they train with the red dot and then just, you know, bounce back and forth between red dot and iron sights, they'll be so much faster with iron sights especially on the draw. It's crazy. It's weird how it works, how your brain makes those decisions. So, but I found a video this morning of this guy talking about, you know, kind of basically trolling Larry Correa, and not trolling Larry exclusively, but talking about, you know, the whole point shooting thing. And I'm actually now trolling Larry with these videos. I'm out there finding the videos about people talking about point shooting, and I'm just like, I'm just trying to trigger Larry Correa.
Everybody got opinions, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, here's the thing: can you neutralize the threat when it happens?
Right.
Are you confident you can neutralize that threat? And really, I don't give a shit how you do it. As long, you know, neutralize the threat, no collateral, and that's a good day.
Yeah, I really, I, you know, like I said, I don't know why. It's very interesting to me. This whole thing with
it gets funny when you get into all of these.
Did you say
fuddy? Funny.
Oh, okay. Because I think fuddy is probably a more accurate term.
Yeah, that could apply too. No, just all of the different arguments, whatever they might be, right? You know, 9mm versus 45 ACP, or you know, whatever, semi-auto versus revolver, or or like you're talking about too here, point shoot versus using sights.
Yeah.
The it's funny because the vast majority of all that stuff is not new, but at the same time it is, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm sure in the 1800s, people were having conversations about the style of the front blade, or the whether it's got gutter sights or some kind of dovetail, or how you grip your revolver, right? Like typically a single action revolver, you're going to grip like really, really, really high on the
Mm.
grip. And typically you're going to fan with the offhand, and things like that. But there are people I'm sure that shot one-handed, that thumbed the hammer with their grip hand, and
Mm-hmm.
these conversations have been going on since
Mm.
guns were a thing, right? And the world still turned, and the industry still evolved,
Sure.
and there's still, so like at the end and people are still able to defend themselves, right?
Yeah.
And compete, right, and protect their homelands and secure the world.
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, while it's fun and it's good conversation to talk about, and whatever, at the end of the day, I don't know that any of it matters.
Well, I do think that there's a reality that we have to face, right? It's just like when you talk um, pistol shooting right now, a narrow front blade or a narrow front sight and a wide rear sight is going to be intrinsically faster. It may not be as precise. You may not be able to,
Right.
you're not shooting a candle out at 20 yards. It may not be quite as precise, but it's going to be faster and accurate enough for from 90% of the people out there, and they're going to be way faster with it, right? Like there's some science behind the way our brain works,
Yeah.
the way our hands and eyes coordinate with each other. And then there's just the fact that most people don't train, most people don't practice, most people don't want
Yep.
to do either of those things. Um,
Yep.
you have no idea how many
Well,
people I used to talk to when I would do I never did like training classes per se, but I would help people out, especially when I was a match director. And I'd say, hey, just all you gotta do is just take some time at home and do dry fire and just do these things. And oh yeah, that sounds awesome. I can do that. Doesn't even cost me ammo. And then you check back with them in a week and they'd be like, oh, I hadn't done any of it.
yeah. It's
And but I
guilty.
will. I promise I will.
Guilty.
And
But I live fire. That's me. I don't. This
yeah,
the
yeah,
reason I'm not big on dry fire is I can literally walk out in 30 seconds right now, be on the range shooting. So
sure,
like I live fire, but I get it.
right. But I mean, if you were practicing like weapon manipulations or transition between rifle and pistol or something like that, that's helpful to confirm on the range. But there's no reason to actually shoot.
True, if you're not pulling and literally pulling triggers, yeah, I
Yeah,
get you. I
that
get you.
you're not like and there is something to just getting the motions as perfect as you can. And there's this thing that I'm sure you've heard this before, and I've heard it so many times, and now it's getting to the point where I'm actually saying it more often than not, and that is because I hear people talk about practice or lack of practice or make excuses, and it's really simple. Uh, Amateurs and losers practice until they get it right. Professionals and winners practice until they can't get it wrong.
Right.
They absolutely cannot get it. It's just like and I'd heard that before, but it hit home with me when I was playing golf this year.
Hmm.
Because the big thing is just getting that consistent swing every time. Just get that consistent swing.
Yep.
And and know that when you pick up that 8-iron, you're going to hit that thing 145 yards, and just that when you're dialed in. And it doesn't matter if it's raining, it doesn't matter if it's cold, it doesn't matter whatever. You know what the club's going to do because you've done it and you've practiced it until you can't get it wrong. And what I find with most people, especially with firearms and shooting and competition or training or whatever. They just practice until they get it right, and then they're like, okay, good, we're good for the day.
Well, there's an opposite end of that too, which a lot of people don't quit while they're ahead.
That's true too.
You can over practice.
Certainly. Yeah.
There is a balance there.
Right.
I found that out more so with my archery than anything. Because I would go out and I would know, I would go out, it would be, a week before a match or something, and I would go out and it's like, okay, I need to knock the rust off, and, spend maybe 15 minutes sometimes. And it's like, okay, that's enough. Like, I know I'm there, right? There's no sense in pushing it, overdoing it, wearing myself out, whatever, because that can happen. You can get out there and just hammer away and hammer away and hammer away with what you're doing, and fatigue is setting in, right? Like both mental and physical fatigue is setting in, and eventually that's going to take a toll on whatever you're shooting. It's going to take a toll, and so you can't overdo it. You got to be mindful of that too. Now, once I think once you get to the point you're talking about where you can't miss,
you can't get it wrong.
Right? Where you can't miss.
That's the point. That's exactly right.
So once you get to that point, that makes it a lot easier to know when to walk away, right?
It does, right?
Like you walk out, put 10 rounds down range, they're all X. You're like, okay, I ain't wasting no more ammo.
I did that just just last week. I was practicing pistol, and my pistol drill is it looks insane, but it's really not that bad. And so I was doing my pistol drills. I did them, and I did 2 days, about 500 rounds over those 2 days. And I'm hitting, I'd load 6 rounds into the mag, 6 or 7. And I would, at 7 yards, I was using 1 inch or 1.5 inch shoot and see dots. And I would just put, 6 of them up there, and I would try and get all 7 rounds into a dot, and then move to the next one, all 7 rounds into the dot, all 7 rounds into, and then I would just start increasing the speed, right? So instead of bang, 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 it was like bang, 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 so just constantly increasing the speed until I started missing, and then I would dial it back a little bit, and then, and then you move back to 10 yards, and now it's a 2-inch dot, same drill. And it looks insane. It looks really hard. And, people are like, I don't know why that seems stupid to me. Right. You're shooting this big target. And I'm like, well, that's okay. But the thing is I knew that this is where, like, when I was missing, it was because I was pushing too hard. And so there was just no point, at this point, I just need to understand, hey, I can go this fast.
Right.
If I go this fast, I'm going to miss. I can go this fast.
Right.
And so then I put the pistols down, and I picked up the PCC, the rifle, which I hardly ever practice with, and started practicing with it because it's a different manual at arms. It's a different, they're different magazines. They're different. It's a different gun, even then it's an AR platform, but it's a different platform. Right. And in the match, in the video, which I may or may not be able to cut this up enough to make it make sense, but in the video you'll see me go to reload my pistol, and I would grab the PCC mag because they're both the same size basically, and I'm like, and you'd hear me say, oh, wrong mag. Right. And so well, there's a point there, right?
Yeah, there's a saying, since we're talking about all these sayings, smooth is fast, right?
Yeah.
And that's all about rhythm. It's all about,
Yeah, I agree with that.
If you're trying to go smooth, because if you try to go fast, you're probably going to miss. So just try to be smooth. And if you're smooth, you're going to be fast.
Yeah. In racing, there used to be this thing. I was fast in, fast out, or fast in, slow out. Fast in is usually slow out because you're overdriving the car. And slow in, fast out is usually, in theory, faster. But we had our own saying, is that slow is slow, so don't be slow. You can be smooth, you can be but slow is slow. Like if you're literally slowing down, then that's then you're doing it wrong. And that
Right.
this is where I fuck myself so many times in shooting, is that I'm trying to push the envelope all the time.
Right.
And I end up,
So
I'll overrun a target. I'll grab the wrong mag. I'll do all of these. I fuck myself because in what I've done for decades is slow is slow and fast is fast. And if you want to be fast, you need to be fast. And you just have to be able to perform at that level and know, that's like, I can look at the data in the race car and look at a driver and say, this guy gets it. Cause you can look at his brake trace, it's a ski ramp and then it's flat on, cause he's on the brakes the exact right amount and then off, and the car, he doesn't overslow the car, which is a term that nobody has ever heard before except in racing. And all of these things. And so it fucks me in shooting, man.
Yeah.
It just does.
Well,
It jacks me up because I'm afraid of overslowing to the point where I end up making myself slow.
well, I think that it's a disservice, especially in the shooting sports world, to even talk in terms of slow and fast, quite honestly. And from the standpoint of fast, that's why, I say smooth is fast.
Mhm.
Focus on becoming smooth. At the
Yeah.
point that you're smooth, whether that's 3 seconds for a 5-shot string or that's 10 seconds for a 5-shot string, you
Yeah.
don't want to be jerky and, be smooth. Work on
Mhm.
being smooth. Once you've got the smooth down, increasing the speed. Notice I didn't say fast.
Yeah.
Notice I didn't say going fast.
Right.
Once you are smooth, increasing the speed is easy.
Yeah. I think that there's some truth to that. There's, and that may be I need to tweak my mentality back a little bit. But I'll get there.
A lot of people don't understand multi-target engagement, sweeping targets, and trigger break. And
Mhm.
so it really is. I mean, it's almost like playing a musical instrument or something. Like
Mhm.
there's this timing that you've got to sweep and break the trigger. Bang, bang, bang. Left, right, left, center, right. Bang, 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 and you got to break that trigger at like just the right time. If you're not smooth, if you haven't done that, you know, 100, 200 times, you know, um, and gotten that smooth sweep down and gotten that timing down, I mean, you're never going to hit them going faster.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of different facets to it, but I really, it all ties back. All of this stuff always ties back to, the stuff where, the point shooting out to however many yards versus using
Mhm.
your sights. And, I was actually on the range with this guy back when we did in November, when we did the debate con thing. And this guy's like, he would shoot and then he would drop the gun down to like a 45-degree angle. And I'm like, dude, we're not cops. like,
Right.
like we're
Yeah.
not cops, man. You don't have to do the whole, just once you've got that gun up and you're looking for targets, keep it in front of your eyeballs so
A
that you're
lot of
not.
times that's habit. I find myself with a long gun a lot of times. I'll
Yeah.
go boom, 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 and I'll twist.
Nah.
Like that's a habit for me that
Yeah.
I have developed at some point, and it gets my optic and it gets everything kind of out of the way, but yet
Yeah.
it's
Cause you're
still
probably
there.
shooting like a three
And
by
I'm able
nine
to
and you
and
needed to
I'm able
see.
to and I'm able to check the action, right? Like I'm able to see
Mm-hmm.
things. It's right there, but it's still pointed forward. It's still downrange.
Mm-hmm.
It's still in my vision, sphere or whatever you want to call it. Peripheral.
Yeah.
It would be peripheral because it's in front of me, but you get what I'm saying. Um,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I mean, I don't think I've ever caught any shit for that, but that's something that, when I'm editing video, when I'm putting things together, like it's just common for me, man. It's boom, 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 and it like I'll always do this, twist it or
Yeah.
I can it, I guess is what I'll
Yeah.
do. Um,
There's a lot
yeah,
of
I
that
mean,
stuff.
ultimately, the whole point and shoot thing that you're talking about, coming back around to that, um, it goes back to what I said earlier. I mean, look at defensive uses of firearms in this country. Anywhere from estimates of 300,000, half a million, all the way up to 3 million. Right, the
Mhm.
estimates are all over the place, low end, to high end, but um, you know, 99.9% of those fucking people don't have any training.
Sure.
99.9% of those people, and that's been the way it's been throughout history,
Mhm.
right? Um, so again, we get back into it's fun to have these debates. It's fun to see all the drama come about. But like at the end of
Oh,
the
I'm in for
day, at the end of the day, which end goes bang? Point that at the bad guy. You
it.
know,
Right.
like it's not that hard. Like
So
there's 80-year-old grandmas, right, that are using firearms in self defense and have had zero formal training and they haven't watched any YouTube videos, right? Like
yeah,
we're not talking about people out there that might be listening to this that are plugged into the community and the culture. We're
yeah,
talking about 80-year-old women that the only time they've ever pulled the trigger on their gun was to defend themselves, you know?
it's true, and it's. I think it's an interesting. I mean, that's a very very logical take, and you actually see how people who have some but not enough training completely
Right.
lose their shit because they don't
Yeah.
know. Their mind short circuits or whatever. So I think
Everybody so
yeah.
it's bigger, it's cultural, right? Like
Mhm,
everybody wants to be right.
mhm,
Everybody wants to be kind of accepted into the tribe. Everybody wants people to like
for
them.
sure.
Everybody wants to do jump on the bandwagon, do the popular thing. There's just so much culturally. And I mean
Mhm.
we see this with tons of other things. I mean look at fashion, for example, right?
Yeah.
So I mean obviously that's going to spill over into the gun world, you know. And I think
Mhm,
that's where you get a lot of the uh, people that just have these just they've got an opinion, but they put it out there as a fact, and
mhm.
and they're gonna die on that hill. Like they don't care.
Yeah,
They're gonna die
yeah.
on that hill, and
It is actually
I just let them. They're gonna be on that hill
yeah.
kind of by themselves because like I'm not gonna argue with you no more.
It's been a great source of entertainment watching Larry
Right,
and these
right.
guys go back and forth. It has been
Shit,
so awesome.
look at all the sick drama over the last few
Oh
years,
yeah.
right?
It
Right.
was funny. I was actually having a conversation. I don't really want to get into the SIG stuff too much, but I have
No,
to
definitely
talk about
not.
this. I have to talk about this. So I was actually listening to somebody the other day, and they were talking about how they could get the problem with the SIG, and so to get this thing to fire, they always have to manipulate the trigger in some way. And so this guy literally takes his pocket knife and sticks it in the trigger and depresses the trigger until he can rock the slide back and forth to get it to fire. And I'm
Mhm.
like, but you've depressed the trigger, man.
Yeah.
Like, wait,
Yeah.
what? And so all that proves to me is that you probably need to check your sear engagement. But other than that, you're still manipulating the trigger, brother. And it was a very funny video, and I don't want to go too far down that road, but it was see, it fires on its own. Like, no, it doesn't. Now,
Right.
and I've actually tried really hard um, to get either one of mine to misbehave when the trigger is not, when nothing's going on with the trigger, and they just won't do it.
Right.
I apparently have defective SIGs. So.
Right. Boyd, Boyd said I was told that for self defense, you just need to cock a shotgun.
There you
Um,
go. That's right.
so I'm gonna be that guy.
Yeah.
You need to rack a shotgun,
Yeah.
not cock a shotgun. Um, but here's the thing with that. Um, couple of things. There is truth to that
Mhm.
because again, we're talking 300K to 3 million self-defense gun uses, and the vast majority of those, 99.9%, uh, or there's not even a shot fired. So some
Right.
truth to that
Mhm.
statement. But here's the thing. Um, just because you rack it, don't mean you ain't gonna have to use it. So you better know how to use it.
That's true. And a shotgun at 10 yards is a bullet. Like, there's not a whole lot of time.
It's a big, huge bullet. Yes.
Yeah, it's a big,
Yes.
huge bullet. Yes, but you
You got
can
some
still
margin for
miss.
error. You got some margin for error because it's so big.
Yeah,
But
but you can
yeah.
still miss. Um,
Yeah,
so
it's not even separated from the wad at
right.
that distance.
Well, 10 yards it might be, but not by much. Not by much.
Not by much. You probably
Yeah,
what,
30 feet,
maybe
30, I mean, that's 30 feet.
so
That's
12 gauge is roughly about 3/4 of an inch, right?
mhm,
Bore. It's like 710 or
yeah.
something. So what, inch and a half, 2 inch, maybe at 10 yards. It depends
Yeah,
on the wad. It depends on the load. It depends on a lot of things.
yeah.
But that's in my mind. That's what I'm
I mean,
thinking.
it
I've
depends on
never.
the choke. I mean, so
It depends
assuming
on
that
the choke. Yes. No,
because skeet, all right. So if you shoot skeet,
that's true because it's going to come out at a different
yeah, if you're shooting
diameter.
skeet with like an IC,
Yeah.
the further it's weird because the further away the target is, the better it is for you.
Hmm.
But if you're shooting a skeet choke, almost the sooner you get on it, the better it is because of the and if you're shooting
Right.
division, it's basically a cloud out of the bore, but it's not going to go very far, right? So
Right.
it's a trade-off with a shotgun. Shotguns are the thinking man's gun.
Right.
So, but yeah, so
Anyway.
I'm gonna shift gears here a little bit from the defensive to the to somebody we're gonna see at SHOT Show, and there's so much drama that has unfolded around this particular group of people over the past year, and they're very local to me, and that is T-Rex and Lucas Bakken and his new company, which I can't remember the adaptive performance or technology or something like that. And so I've been kind of paying attention to that a little bit.
Well, you're drawn to drama, so it makes sense.
A little bit, but he shot like our state match, and he shot the sectional. And he went out to he shot the USPSA Section 2 match in Phoenix at Rio Salada. So I mean, he's kind of in my sphere now, right? Like not directly because I don't do a lot of USPSA, but it's just kind of interesting to watch this all play out, and it's going to be very interesting to see going forward what that landscape looks like. But the thing that I find interesting is that Lucas has gotten back in now that he doesn't have his training range and he's not doing the tactical type videos. He's really kind of pivoted back into competition. And according to him, most of his new products are more for the, just the average civilian gun user rather than mil-spec guys, So it's very interesting.
Switch
Pivot.
lanes. Yeah.
It's a very interesting pivot.
Nice.
So
I might actually start paying a little more attention now.
Right. Yeah. So apparently the belt gear that he's using is, it's more of a competition type belt gear. It's more of a civilian type, or it doesn't look all military. I mean, it's still, obviously it's a gun belt. It's going to look like a gun belt, but it's not, it doesn't look super high speed, gimmicky kind of stuff, as near as I can tell. So,
so
it's going to be interesting.
More like a NASCAR gun belt rather than an F1.
Yeah. Well, it's more like it's more like a so it's more like a sports car gun belt than a G-Wagon gun belt.
There you go. Yeah. That's better.
Yeah. So I'm kind of interested to see that going on. The fact that he's rebuilding his business in his garage at home, and he's literally like turned his bonus room into an office, and they've turned they've actually rented some space somewhere, and a huge warehouse facility because they're going to do clothing. They're going to do
oh wow,
shirts and shit like that. And
like
which
merch,
I think
merch
has
stuff, or like for
no, I think it's a brand. I think he's
Nice.
I think it's going to be like I
Nice.
don't think it has now what he has said. Now I don't know this to be true. I mean, I'm just going by what he has said here and there. Is that it doesn't even have anything to do with guns or firearms. It's just kind of a like grunt style, basically.
Like outdoor apparel,
probably
type,
outdoors,
whatever. Kind of like Camerado, so to speak.
There you go. Good. Get that plug in there.
Right.
I almost wore my my CloverTac hat. I have it. I have it on my shooting bag and my gun belt, so that when I'm at the range and shooting these matches, I'm representing the CloverTac enterprise.
Right.
So.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's appreciated. It's appreciated. So.
Yeah. I'm missing the black one. I've got the green one. I can't find the black one. So I need to.
Now, which ones you
my
get?
son
You
may
got
have
the black on black, or
the black
the
and
gray
gray,
on
I think.
gray
Yeah.
on black? Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's the
I
gray
couldn't
mesh,
remember.
the black front, I believe.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then, or maybe it's the gray front and the black mesh.
It would be gray front and black mesh. Yeah.
And then I got the green one that's I think kind of a grayish color front, and then
Yeah.
green.
Well, the
green.
front is gray on those. Those are the
Yeah.
Richardson 112 gray fronts.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah.
pretty cool. They're pretty cool hats.
Yeah.
So they work well. They work really great for holding my DJI.
Like a heather gray, right?
Yeah. They work great for holding my DJI camera on the hat clip,
Right.
so that I as I'm trying to shoot. Which
How you
I'm
liking
actually really
that,
impressed
by
with.
the way?
I'm really impressed with the level of sports cameras that are out there right now. The DJI, the Insta360.
Well, there's really only two that's worth a shit, and that's the DJI and the Insta. But
yeah, I think so. That my only problem with the Insta was that it was a little bit lighter, but it didn't have the battery life, and it didn't have. There was some other thing that it doesn't do that I was like, this would be cool for me to have.
true.
And but it wasn't a deal breaker. It
Yeah,
also
battery life, it's plenty for what I do.
Mhm.
So the weight that's how I weighed it out.
Yeah, it is like 10 ounce. It's not 10 ounces. It's like there is a small difference in weight.
Smaller
not
profile too.
Yeah, it is a smaller profile. I don't mind the profile because I can't see it, so
Right.
it's on my hat. So I don't really care.
Right.
The cool thing about it is that I can simultaneously use the base, because it's got a screen in the base, and I can set that and people can watch that, or I can have it on my phone, so I could put it on somebody else's head.
Yep.
And let them run it and watch it from my phone and so it'll simultaneously do that. And the other and the way the DJI works is it has a massive amount of memory built into the charging dock, but it also has an SD card in the charging block. So between, so if you're shooting a bunch of stages in a day, you can simply download.
The Insta doesn't have that.
Yeah, download the and you don't need anything else to do it. You simply use the DJI little charging block to do and to download from the memory onto the SD card.
The SD. Nice.
Yeah, and it worked. And you just do it. You don't have to connect anything. You can keep feeding it memory cards all day. It doesn't care. So.
Yeah, mine you have to connect it to the phone and basically dump it to your phone if you fill it up. But again, I don't have a problem with what I do with it on the internal storage. I just don't have an issue. So
the technology's great now for all of that. So
I'm looking forward to potentially using mine at range day. Let's say at range day, the 2 range days anyway. They ain't gonna do worth the shit at night, but the night shoot. But the other 2 coming up.
Okay.
Be the first time. Will it? Yeah, I don't think I had it shot last year. I don't think. So I got to remember to take it, because I view it as for me, it's more of a B-roll auxiliary thing, right? Rather than a main camera. And so a lot of times, quite honestly, I forget I have it.
Do you, so what cameras are you taking to shot? Your phone?
iPhone 17 Pro. iPhone 17 Pro, DJI mic minis, and what the hell was that?
I have the mini. I have the new DJI mini mics. They're awesome.
Yeah, DJI mic minis, that, and I'll take my Insta for like range day, but for shot itself, that's it.
Really?
And then for the podcast that we do at Shot, I will use that Galaxy. What is that? An S20
Hmm.
Plus or whatever.
Okay.
And I've got a Zoom pod track system uh, that goes for that. So
Okay. So, somebody just hit me up. Give me 1 second. Let me. I'm gonna throw my Discord out there for anybody that's new and is not aware of me. I'll throw you my Discord here, so that you can become a member of my Discord, because my Discord is rad. And
one of the few I'm a member of. I cleared out my Discord.
I've heard a lot of people have been doing that lately.
I've got 6. I'm on 6 servers, including my own. I'm on 6 servers. Yours is one of them. And at one time, I think I had closed. I was pushing like 100 servers, dude. It was ridiculous. Like I don't. Why am I a member of something that I'm not going to do anything, participate, ever look at?
Mm.
So because there's nothing that I hate worse than people that feed you a vanity metric. And what I mean by that is this: oh, I subscribed to your channel, or oh, I joined your Discord server, and they want fucking brownie points for that.
Right.
But they never show up for the lives. They never watch the videos. They never comment in the fucking Discord. But they want brownie points for like clicking a follow button or a like button or a subscribe button.
Yeah.
Right? I hate that. And so I don't want to be that person. So it's like, if I don't do any, so I made the decision. I'm like, have I done anything in these Discord servers in the last 30 days? If the answer was no, gone. I can always join them again later if I get a hankering, or you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I get
But like other than that, I'm out.
Okay. Fair. I mean, hey, that honestly, that sounds fine to me. I guess I don't I end up joining a bunch of them because that's where people send you their links and stuff, and then I end up kind of muting them.
Right.
So because a lot of them really have a lot of them have, I mean, a lot of nonsense going on.
Right. Right.
And hang on me.
Well, the good ones are where there's actually members there that are contributing. I know on mine, I've got 2 or 3 guys on there that post far more than I do to the Discord. And it's usually 2A news type stuff, things along that nature, right? And like they're into it. And that's their place to do it, which is awesome because that helps my server out, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true. I guess I don't know. Discord's a weird thing for me. And a lot of times I'll get randomly invited to one, and I'm like, why are they inviting me to this?
Right. Right.
But I am trying to build my Discord to where there's, multiple. I mean, there's already over 200 people in it, but I would like to get it to be like really big. But the problem is that I don't have time to just sit in there and chat all day.
Yeah, I don't either.
And so that's
how do you tell how many's in it?
How
do you tell how many's in your Discord?
Add
them all up?
No, it'll tell you. So the way mine is set,
I've got 70 something. 78. Yeah. Like.
So the way mine is set,
78, about, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15, if that. actually use it, post, do anything.
I have one fearless leader, that's me. 2 legendary heroes online right now, that's Beaten Cheeks and Made by Jim Bob. And we have 51 people online that have, that just have a normal status. And then there's 216 people offline.
Right.
So closing in on that 300 mark.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long have you had your Discord?
A little over a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe almost 2 now, probably.
I rebooted mine. I don't know how many was on it or anything like that, but I basically kicked everybody out
Hmm.
and found well, the dude through the panel sphere or whatever,
Hmm.
the X3, and then a guy from the gun world, Gizzard Gary, that were Discord literate, that went
Hmm.
in and reset everything up with the permissions and the channels, and the other things, and then
Hmm.
kind of restarted it. And I did that after starting to, I started playing around with you guys, kind of in the
Hmm.
panelverse type thing. Uh, and maybe that's the wrong term because there's some channels out there that use that, I think, exclusively. But the non-gun world, let's just put it that
Yeah.
way. And it's actually done. I've done better on Discord. I've enjoyed it more now that I've kind of cleaned things up, and not just
Mm.
my server, but also gotten rid of some servers that I was a
Hmm.
member of and things like that. I use it a lot more now than I used to, for sure. Leaps
Yeah.
and bounds more.
Yeah.
It gets overwhelming. You know what I mean? I mean it
It does.
when you're a
Well, there's a
member
lot.
of like 100 servers or something. Like, it's just overwhelming. Like, it's kind of like the idea. You probably heard it before, because in sales, it's a big thing.
Hmm.
Like, you give people too many options, you overwhelm them, and they don't take any of the options. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
like, if you want to sell stuff, don't have 1,000 variants, have two. you know,
Right. Right.
um,
I think there's some truth to that.
and so, like, I think that's what was going on with me in the Discord. Is I was a member of so many servers
Hmm.
that I didn't use any of them, including my own.
Mm. Yeah. I don't know. I use my Discord a little more now, but not as much as I was. And some people obviously use it. I mean, they use it for everything. There's all kinds. They use it to stream. They use it to do whatever. And I don't, right. Like, I really only use it as a meeting place, and um, this is my second one. My first one I nuked because I didn't build it, and so it was kind of like a fan built one,
Right.
and I that person turned out to, like, kind of not be as good a cool person.
A dick. They were a dick. Is that
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
saying? Okay.
yeah, and so since I don't particularly play well with little bitches,
Right.
um,
Right.
I was like, well, fuck this. I'm um
Yep.
I'm gonna just not be just not gonna deal with it. So I killed that one, and then I built the one that's on now.
Right.
So
I understand, because so I said that's what I had to do. I had to basically nuke mine and then have a couple people that know Discord set it all back up the way I wanted
mhm,
it, because I didn't want to learn it. I honestly didn't. I have no inclination to learn it, and I still don't. Whenever I need something or something fixed in a channel or add a channel, I just
mhm,
get with one of them. That's why they got the perk of the mod status. You know what I mean? So,
right,
um, but yeah, they do it. They do a much better job at all that I do.
yeah. Void A says that he'll be glad to mod in my Discord. Okay. I mean, I only have a couple of mods in there, but my Discord's very quiet. People don't really like spurg out or anything. Nobody fights. Nobody does anything. So.
That's mine. Mine is mostly, there's not a lot of conversation in mine. Mine is mostly like, it has things for you to consume. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
it's set up for you to post things other people consume,
Hmm.
rather than, some Discord servers are all about the debate and the
Hmm.
conversation and the back and forth, and mine is just not. It's kind of like you're saying. It's kind of laid back. It's not that way. Like, people post, hey, here's some 2A news thing, and that's it. There's like no conversation about it. People go check it out if they want, or they don't if they don't.
Yeah. So the last thing I want to kind of get into, and you knew this, you had to know this was coming.
Uh-oh.
It's past Jan 1. Suppressors.
Hell yeah, baby.
No tax. I hear Texas,
Shit.
Texas or a Texan is now suing the ATF, taking them to court, saying that they formed the de facto registry, and
Oh yeah.
the ATF
Yeah.
is claiming that it's not a registry, that because dealers and manufacturers have to pay the tax, it's okay.
Right.
Which is the dumbest claim I think I've ever heard in my life.
Yep.
And I don't understand how they expect to win on this. What do you where do you think they're going with this?
Because they could have. Here's the thing, right? They can have. They say, oh well, even though the originally it was like, okay, well we need this as proof that you paid the tax, right?
Yes.
So
that's how they kept it in 1939.
Well, here's the thing with dealers and manufacturers, they have proof that they paid the tax without the registry. So yeah, I think the days are numbered on it. There's actually 2 cases going on. I'm not super familiar enough to understand.
Yeah. I'm only paying
or whatever.
Tangential.
Yeah.
Attention to it.
It'll be years, I'm sure. I mean, we're looking at 2-3 years down the road, probably. Hopefully, something happens before Trump is out. Let's hope.
You think it's going to take that long? Because it seems like
yeah, I do.
That you do, because it seems like they're in front of it. They have a hearing right now that the ATF has tried to postpone. That the judge has said no. The judge is favorable, and he's the judge that's hearing the case is the same judge that he made another really good decision in like a gun registration or gun tax case, and so he's there's a lot of good feeling that the judge is pro 2A.
Well,
in the right way.
Can we address an elephant in the room real quick and say that, first of all, Pam Bondi ain't worth a fuck.
That's true.
That bitch needs to go. And shame on Trump for even appointing her.
Not really an elephant, though.
Which shows that not really, yeah. Which shows that Trump is not the most pro 2A, whatever, blah 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 blah. Or otherwise he would not have put her in that position. There was much better people he could have put in that position from a 2A standpoint. So,
yes, but I don't think the two. So
that's just ridiculous that she's fucking arguing anything. Like she should just roll over and say, "Okay, yeah, right, we got to get rid of this. It don't work."
Well, actually, see, I thought Pam Bondi would be gone by now.
Yeah, me too.
I do. I will give her credit. That I watched the Senate hearings with her and Kash Patel just recently, and I thought that she did a really great job of articulating why the left could go fuck itself on a lot of the Epstein stuff and a lot of other claims that they made. And I thought she made very clear and concise positions on how that they cannot release specific things because of the way the court system works and the laws in this country work. If there, if there's reference to a minor that is still in active investigation, it has to be redacted. If it's something that relates to an active case, minor or not, it has to be redacted. These are all things it's simply the law. Right. And I thought she made a really great set of arguments about that. It's like, look, I have no motivation here. It's the law. Like, I don't care one way or the other. I'd do it tomorrow if I could, but I can't. Right. So I thought that was good. But she seems to lack a very basic understanding of firearms, which I think basically most of those people do. And so I think she's apathetic. And I think that more than likely she just doesn't care and does not want to fight the fight.
Yeah.
And this is where I think Trump, and I've said this about Trump before. While I don't think Trump is an enemy to the 2A crowd, I don't think he's our best friend either. He's the friend. So he's the friend that is always your buddy until it's time to move.
Uh-huh.
And then when you say, "Hey man, can you come over tomorrow and I just got to lift some heavy objects and put them into Barry's truck or something like that, and we're going to take them down and unload them." He's like, "Yeah, I got golf tomorrow."
Yeah, right.
Right? Like,
Right.
yeah, I mean, I would, but my pedicure is tomorrow, or whatever it is. There's always, he's that guy, right? So it's like, yeah, he doesn't. I don't think he's anti 2A. I think in his mind he's very 2A. I know his son is.
Oh, in his mind, he's a lot of things, but
right.
Lord, his mind,
yeah,
is
but
a
again,
mess.
But again, we all have that buddy who thinks he's your best friend and he does everything in the world for you. But every single time you ask him to do anything for you, he's busy, he's tied up.
Well,
he doesn't have the money.
I think you're right. I think his kids are far more 2A than he is, and Don Jr. sits on the board of American Suppressor Association, I think.
Yeah.
Something along that line.
In Trump's first term, Don Jr. and I don't know that I'm supposed to know this, but it doesn't matter. Don Jr. ordered a shit ton of precision rifle stuff from Mile High Shooting in Colorado, which, by the way, is one of the best places to buy long range, or was. I don't know. I mean, things change, but I believe they're still one of the best places to buy precision and long range shooting gear in the country, period, bar none. But anyway, so Mile High Shooting, Don Jr. ordered a lot of stuff, including suppressors and, just a lot of really, really cool, long range stuff. He's a hunter. He's a sportsman. He's a gun guy. And I honestly think that for the most part, that's where Trump gets most of his positions on firearms from.
I think so too.
Don Jr.
He'll be a shot, by the way, I'm sure. He always is.
Yeah.
Talking about Junior, not
yeah.
Daddy, not Don.
It would be awesome if we had a trumpet shot.
Not really, because Trump comes to the NRA stuff. Has been to a couple of the other things, and the way they have to do security and shut stuff down, and I mean, it is a cluster fuck when the president has to come to town or show up at an event, and I don't like it, and I certainly don't want to deal with that at SHOT.
Yeah,
so no, but I will tell you that Don Jr. has probably just as much as security as Trump's got. Walking around with him, so you're not going to get close unless unless he wants you to, or they want you to. Back though to the zero stamp thing, just for a second. It just the second that legislation was passed, those lawsuits were filed, right?
Yeah,
and part of I think the problem and why it'll take a little bit of time is that it just went into effect January 1st. So you've got, and I don't know all the specific terminology, lawyer speak and whatnot. Like I'm not fucking up on all that. But I have a basic understanding of how it works. And like you have to have standing, for lack of a better word, right? And so now that the law and it's actually in effect and people are actually starting to get put on the books that are paying no tax, right? Now it's actually a problem. Like it wasn't technically a problem before now.
Correct. Yeah.
So now this has got to play out, and the more people that get put on that list, I think the bigger the case gets, quite honestly.
Well, that's true. And I'm interested to see what happens when someone files a Form 1 for a 3D printed suppressor that they make and they're put on the registry and they're the manufacturer. And so it's going to be interesting to see.
Well, as long as you're not selling it, there's a difference between you manufactured something and
Of course.
you're manufactured it as a business.
Yeah.
Like two
Yeah.
different things there.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be very interesting. And I can't wait to see how this goes. Hey, Vibe, how are you? Hey, go Vibe. While you're at it, go subscribe on Kick and Rumble as well. That's where we'll actually be doing all of the cool stuff later when we have lives later. I won't be doing the live so much on YouTube, or I'll be doing like the first part, like a discussion that Clover and I are having now, and then we'll be shutting down the YouTube, going over to Rumble or Kick, and actually where we can actually handle firearms and bullets and paraphernalia, as they say. So,
Well, I talked to just before we went live. Matter of fact, I talked to Next Level Armament.
mm,
And reached out to them for some stuff about honestly about SHOT Show, and of course, like, hey, how's it going? Blah blah blah. And they're like, oh my god, like first of the year hit, and we are just it's insane. Like we
I
are
bet.
slammed, and they're small. Next Level Armament is a small manufacturer, so I can
Now, they
only
make what do they make mostly?
suppressors.
I got you.
Yeah. They have a suppressor for pretty much everything, and multiple versions of them, but they're a pretty small company. So
Yeah, I know Whip Machine and
definitely not a Silencer Co, Dead Air, Yankee Hill. Definitely
I
not in
mean Whip
those
Machine.
categories. Whip
Whip,
Machine.
yeah, Whip Machine and Tool has been. They're probably running their machines like 24/7 because they make a $200 can,
Hmm.
and like they're one of the least expensive but higher quality cans out there.
Hmm.
And so I'm not going to say which, but I actually had a suppressor company tell me that they did not think that this would ever happen, and the reason is because when you can make your own suppressor and not have to register it or anything like that, it hurts the suppressor business when they can't sell a suppressor for $1,000 or $1,200.
I
But now we
disagree.
look at all of
But,
these
yeah,
companies that are building suppressors that are $400, $250. I mean,
that
and
was cope. That was cope. All it
yeah,
was cop
well,
out.
it's protecting their
Um,
business, right?
yeah. That's not true. I mean, you can build your own guns now. There's still
Mhm.
plenty of gun
I did the other
manufacturers
day.
in this. You can build your own cars now. Still plenty of cars. You can build your own
Yeah,
airplanes. You can build your own anything.
yeah,
Literally fucking anything. Your house, build your
true.
own house, and there's still plenty of industry around those
Mhm.
things. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's bullshit. That's
I
cop out. Because
actually.
let's be honest. Let's be honest about something, right?
Mhm.
And I've got 3 Form Ones, I think 3 or 4. Um, so been there,
I
done
love
that.
them.
Been there, done that. Have built them. Know what I'm talking about. But
Mhm.
so here's the thing, though. Are mine up to the standard and the quality of that company that does the $1,000 suppressor? Probably not. Right.
Mhm.
So even though people can make them, right, if they want to for their own personal use, um, they're still not going to be as good as some of the stuff these companies are cranking out. You're not going to be able to produce that. You do not have millions of dollars worth of machinery and access to the same materials. You just don't.
I mean, I don't
Or the
disagree.
knowledge or the to do it,
Yeah,
right?
so I don't disagree, but I mean, some of my Form Ones they look as good or better than anything that Thunder Beast or anybody else makes.
Yeah.
And the reason I can say that, I mean, but now look, a lot when I made a bunch of them is when I owned the machine shop, and I just got in my machine shop and just make whatever I wanted, right?
Right.
Um,
Now
and
yours baffle stack or monocore?
I have both.
Okay. I don't have a monocore. I've never made a monocore. I don't have access to the machinery
Yeah,
really
you
to
need
do.
I've seen people do it with a lot of patience and a drill press um with
An end mill.
hole saws and that kind of thing, and big and some end mill bits, just going really slow.
Yeah.
I've seen it done, but that I don't know. I would rather, if I were going to do a monocore again, I'd rather just get a bunch of titanium washers and some titanium metal strip and have that water jet cut, or I would water jet cut a titanium frame, for lack of a better word, and then stack titanium baffles in
That's interesting. So you would have a fixed baffle system, basically.
Yeah, I would use a fixed baffle system like a monocore,
where it all comes out at once. Yeah.
Yeah, where it all comes out at once. But I would make it out of titanium and I would weld it.
Yeah.
And then, and part of that's because one of my problems with monocores is that it eats up so much volume, and volume is where you get most of your suppression.
Yep.
And so to get the same level of suppression as a stacked core, the monocores have to be bigger in diameter.
Yeah.
And they weigh more, in my opinion, my experience.
Yeah.
So, which is where the guys that can machine titanium and they can 3D print titanium and Inconel, that's where they have an advantage, right? But that machine costs $1 million, $2 million, $30 million. Well,
here's the thing too, though, talking about this. So one thing that I foresee that could happen, right? When you talk about suppressors coming off the NFA, which means you can do whatever on your own. How hard would it be to make a thread adapter for, your oil and your fuel filters, right? That's number one. Number two, and then number two, you've got your plastic printing, right? So you could very easily take a metal tube and 3D print some type of polymer. They got some really cool filaments that are out there now.
There's literally
you can print on a $300 3D printer, like not anything expensive. So very affordable to do. Now, is it going to last? No, but if they're off the NFA, you shoot it till it goes back. You make 10 of them, right? That's first of all, and then as they wear out, you throw them away and print another one.
Well, so that's.
But again, not all people are going to buy a 3D printer. They're not into that shit to do that. So I still don't think it affects the industry.
Yeah, but I mean, right now today, you can look up on YouTube and find the guy who has fought the fight on 3D printed suppressors. He shows you how to use carbon or steel tubes or aluminum tubes, build, do this, make the suppressor, put it all together, and it's all on YouTube. You can do it right now. Now, he does tell you that, hey, you got to get a Form 1. This is how you do that. This is with the paperwork, all of that.
Right.
And now, and that's where the actual question comes in. If I don't have to pay the $200 stamp, why bother letting the ATF know that I have it? Right? Like, except other than to register. And so this is the law that I'm questioning right now. I'm questioning what purpose is there? Now I could, and as far as the manufacturers having to pay the tax, and so it's okay that the citizens have to pay a tax when they purchase it, which is you actually pay 2 taxes. For everybody that doesn't know, you actually pay 2 taxes when you buy a suppressor. You pay sales tax, and you pay the NFA tax. Yep. And so that's always stuck in my craw as well. When you buy any kind of and let's just put this in perspective. When I was in college, I would buy NFA items, usually machine guns of some kind. I loved H&Ks. I had 51s, 93s, 53s. I had a bunch of HK stuff because they were the newest guns that were on the pre-ban. They were the newest pre-ban guns you could get.
Transferable. Yeah.
Yeah, the newest transferable guns you could get, and that made them a little less valuable. And so you could still buy them at that point in time. The frenzy hadn't hit. So I could buy I buy a Mac 10 for $5,000. I'd buy an HK 53 for 7 or 8, and then I'd keep it a year and it would be $10,000. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're like 100.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's hard.
It's hard to find anything other under about, even like the Mac stuff and whatever, under $15,000. It's hard to find anything.
Yeah, there's a guy who has a transferable Mac. I was asked if I wanted it the other day. I think he wants 38 for it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the thing about the Mac is they now have the guy and the only registrable part is the trigger pack in the Mac. And so there's a guy who makes a kit to take the Mac trigger pack, and you can put an AR upper on it. You can put an HK MP5 upper on it. You can put, I believe you can put not a Sten, but there's like 5. You can basically make 12 different machine guns,
right,
with one tac stand.
All right, so we've started down this road, and so I've done something over the last couple of months now that I didn't think I would do, but I couldn't quite turn it away.
Right.
And I've spent more money probably than I should have, but so I was milling around, and everybody knows about FRTs, surely, force reset triggers.
Super
and
safety.
I found a place that had super safeties for $100 a piece.
Wow.
And I'm like, you know what? As opposed to like $450, $500 for the FRT, or 300, 250, 300-ish for the super selector, like I'm willing to get one of these and play with it. Holy shit, are they cool?
Yeah.
I've got
Until
one
you have to
on
reload magazines.
I've got one, yeah, right, or buy ammo. I've got one on an SBR 300 blackout, and I've got one on an XM177. So I got one in 300 blackout and one on a 5.56. And holy shit, dude, they're fun. Now you do have, you can go semi-auto, and then you go full super with it. But dude, you cannot tell that it's not full auto.
Right.
And it is 100%, once you get it, everything tuned, which, it takes a little time to play with that and the right buffers and springs and other things. But once you get them tuned where you want them and whatever, like totally controllable 2, 3, 4 round burst, like however you want to go. Dude, and it, like, there is no, like, the bump stocks, you had to hold it a certain way, you know what I mean? Or if you bump fired something with your belt loop, you had to hold things a certain way, and all of this. Or like the binaries, right? You got to work your finger weird, when you're using the binary, and you got to get that rhythm down. Like, there's none of that shit, dude. You flip the fucking selector and pull the trigger.
Right.
Like, as long as you're pulling back on the trigger, like, you can physically feel it reset, pushing, forcing it back forward. It's amazing.
Yeah. I actually have been looking for a super safety, because supposedly Thunder, whatever it is, are suing super safety because that's their deal with the ATF. And this is some underhanded nonsense. Basically, the ATF said, we won't tie you guys up in court proving that your trigger is not a machine gun if you sue everybody else who tries to duplicate your pattern for patent infringement.
Right.
And so Super Safety is being sued by Thunder Cricket or whatever, or Thunder Valley or what Thunder, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They're being sued by them right now because of, for patent infringement. And they both work in different ways. I mean, they kind of work in the same way, but they work in different ways.
They do.
And
no, they do. Totally.
And I don't think that there's a patent. I don't think that there's a case there, but that doesn't matter because it's a lawsuit. It's going to go forward. It's going to, that's just what's going to happen. I think it's underhanded. And I think that's actually one of the reasons why I won't buy the FRT, because
it was the price for me. I'm gonna be honest with you, because shows and stuff, I've shot it. But I'm not spending $450, $500 on a trigger. Well,
I mean, I don't mind. I've spent $400 on a trigger before, but that's not the problem. The problem for me is that they're not, that they're being used by the ATF to go after other companies who are providing basically the same thing. And in the and what the ATF and it's brilliant on the ATF's part, because
Trump's ATF, by the way, just saying.
Yeah. The ATF it's a pretty good move on their part, because they don't have to go after these companies and prove that each trigger is legal or not legal, and they don't have to do anything.
Right.
And basically they're weaponizing a company to go after other companies in order to save themselves. And I find that supremely underhanded. Now it is Trump's in ATF, but this started under Biden.
True,
this agreement was all put in place under Biden. Now, the thing is I don't think the FRT guys have any motivation to fight the ATF on it. And the super safety people have been throwing out videos left and right about, about what the truth is about what's going on and all of that. They're just not getting honestly, I don't think they're getting enough airtime. I don't think they're getting enough airplay on this. Right. Or the ATF, Trump's ATF honestly isn't doing anything. They may not even know the deal exists, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm sure they have to. There's no doubt.
You would think so, but I mean,
the amount of 2A organizations that I know that fight the good fight and are in the trenches every day, there's no fucking way they don't.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's
no motivation. That's
my complaint, regardless of where a 2A infringement originates.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've got a new when it is 100% tied up in the bureaucracy of an executive branch agency, and you have a new executive branch come in and they don't immediately say, hey, knock that shit off, it's their fault.
I don't disagree with you. I have to wonder, to what I don't think they're particularly motivated.
It literally takes a fucking phone call from the president that goes, hey, ATF, this is
knock that shit off.
President Donald J. Trump, knock that fucking shit off.
Yeah,
literally, that's all it takes.
And that really does need to happen in this case, because again, just so people understand, people that watch us now, people
got time to go get Maduro, but you ain't got time to call the ATF, really?
Yeah, the Maduro thing. But look,
I don't want to go down that road. I was just using that.
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you.
Really, you can do this big, complicated, international thing, but you can't pick up the phone.
Well, again, the problem as I see it is there's no motivation for the ATF to change the deal. Now, I think there would be if
the motivation should be it's fucking unconstitutional.
If Thunder
Amendment, that should be the motivation.
Well, but right now there's nothing in front of them, right? They're not actually doing anything.
Yeah,
they're not actually. So that's the evilness of what Biden's ATF did.
Right.
Is they weaponize this company, and the deal is that the Thunder, whatever they are, the FRT guys, they can produce their product, and the ATF has agreed not to. Now we don't know that the current administration's ATF is holding the same agreement. We don't know that. We have to assume that it is, since they're allowed to do it. But as far as the company is concerned, if they don't go after companies on patent infringement, then they're going to be in court defending the FRT and have to go through the two-year long process of determining that it's not a machine gun. And now, whether or not that's the reality, whether or not Trump's NFA would go, well, this has already been decided. We don't care, and we don't care if you're suing these people or not. Whether that would happen, or whether they would go, hey, yeah, I was here in the last administration, and I'm here in this administration, and I still feel the same way. And if you don't toe the line, buddy, we're going to be in court, bucko. Right. I don't know. it's worth talking about. And in 6 months or 8 months, when super safety and the FRT guys have been in court or have avoided court or whatever it is, you know, that there's going to be a lot of money spent by Americans to defend their rights against their own government, but their own government isn't even the people that are suing them. It's another company that's suing. I mean, it's really jacked up. Like, it's a really horrible situation. Legally, it's probably a legal thing. It's probably totally above board. There's nothing technically wrong with it. But from my position, it's absolutely evil. We should not be. Our government should not weaponize companies against each other to sue each other into oblivion, so the government doesn't have to do their job. That's the problem I have. That's realistically the problem I have, and that's why I don't have an FRT. I would buy a super safety. I'll have to see if they're in stock, because I'll buy one
for $100. Combat Armory. That's where I got mine.
Combat Armory. Okay. I'll dig into that. Yeah, I don't particularly care about. I mean, I have an RDS, but they're not that fun. They're fun, but they're not that fun. And the problem with the RDS is that I have to have the machine gun trigger pack.
Oh yeah.
I got to have that. I actually have to have an M16 or M4 trigger pack to make it work.
Wow.
And
well, super safety, you have to have a full auto bullet carrier, but I mean, most ARs have that nowadays.
Yeah,
it's pretty standard.
I have a boatload of those.
There is a potential, just depending on the upper and the lower, there's a potential that you got to do a little Dremel work on some ledges, basically inside the receivers. Nothing huge.
I've got a
yeah, there's well, I mean, it doesn't even require doing that. Like, it literally, the easiest, quickest way is the deburring bit and a Dremel. I mean, and then after that, it's potentially a gas block, potentially, buffer probably is the next biggest thing. Springs probably the next biggest thing, and then a gas block after that. And all of that is more for tuning. So
yeah, are you using an adjustable gas block?
Yeah, I had to on my SBR, and I've got a Voltor A5 spring kit coming in, and I'm gonna swap that out, and then I'll have to readjust, I'm sure, the gas block. But yeah, I had to go adjustable block on it because it was just running super suppressed, was just
massively.
It runs. Don't get me wrong. It all ran, right?
Yeah.
But there's a difference in it runs, and I like the way it runs.
Right.
Difference, right?
Nobody likes them when they're massively overgassed.
Yeah, I want it to be controllable, and controllable from a sense too. I could work 2, 3 round, 5 round type bursts, right? I don't want it to be this super fast. You see so many people that do these with the FRTs, and it's like, burp, and there's a 20 round magazine, right? And it's like, I don't want that. Like, I want a da-da-da, you know what I mean? Da-da-da, rather than a burp. I don't want that. And so that's all comes down to the tuning, right? Comes down to the buffer and the spring and the gas block and things like that to get that tuned out how I want it. That's all. That's
right.
All. With a little bit of, and I didn't even have to shave anything on my, so Yankee Hill upper and lower on my SBR. I didn't even have to shave on it. But it was on my XM177, it is a Bushmaster upper and lower. And I did have to shave a little bit on those to get it to work. But runs are great, man. They're a ton of fucking fun. God, they're so fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at the range the other day, and a guy had an FRT or a super safety in a Ruger 22, and it was pretty hilarious. I mean, it's
fun too.
Really not controllable as far as the pistol itself, but the rest of it. But it's cool.
Well, they even make them for the TARS TX22. which is like, why would you want FRT in a 22 pistol? I don't get it,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Well, the Ruger 22 apparently works really, really well. Not the
Yeah.
little I forget what it, maybe it is. It's probably the same thing as a Taurus, just made by Ruger.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the NFA. I'm hoping that the FRT stuff makes the machine gun argument kind of moot, and it is what it is.
Well, the first step is to continue to move forward and take down the suppressor SBR SBS. If we can do that, the only thing left are machine guns and destructive devices.
Yeah.
I don't know that we ever get to getting destructive devices off of that. And the reason I say that is really similar to being in a vein with explosives and stuff. And there is a tradition and history of regulation on that. So,
right. And I actually agree with that. I guess the thing is that I believe that destructive devices should be regulated about the same as dynamite and blasting pads.
List. Yeah. Basically, you have to have a license for that.
Yeah, but and it never made sense to me that for each grenade that you have to have you literally have to have a stamp for each one.
Right.
And that's insane.
Well, the thing is, you're looking at it the wrong way, though. The point was to add a fucking infringement, but going from the way the court sees it, it's just a tax, right? It's not that you have to have a stamp for each one; you have to pay the tax for each one. The stamp was how they proved that you paid the tax, right?
Yeah.
So, basically, you're just paying the extra tax. So, people look at it. That's where people kind of got backwards, I think, with the NFA there for a while. And a lot of people still are. And they see it as, oh, I've got to get a stamp. And it's like, no, you don't got to get a stamp. You got to pay a fucking tax. That's what it's about. You got to pay the fucking tax. The stamp is just a proof.
Right. Yeah. That's my annoyance.
And so if you look at it from a destructive device thing, let's say you want to get a case of grenades, right? You've got a way of looking at it and going, hey, this is stupid because I've got to get a stamp for each one of these. And as soon as I throw them and blow them up, then I've got this stamp that doesn't go to anything, right? And it's like, no, it doesn't. That's not the way it actually works. You paid a $200 tax on it. So even if, let's say it would be no different than you walking into the gun store, buying a grenade, right, from the gun store, paying a $200 tax at the gun store, and then going home and throwing it, out in the pasture and blowing it up. Like there's no difference. But people in their mind,
I think the annoyance is
morph that to where it's about the stamp rather than the tax.
And the reason for that is it used to take a month, 2 months, whatever, just to get it back, or longer to get a stamp for it. And in the meantime, you own it, but you can't have it. And I actually think the real issue that most people have is on things like, so I can actually, and with explosives, I could see, hey, you need to have some the same thing that the pyrotechnic guys have, right? You need to have, you need to have taken a course, understand what you're messing with, maybe have a couple of practical exams in there or and then once you get signed off, that's it. Right. None of this
kind of like once upon a time, in order to buy Freon, air conditioning Freon, you had to have a license that you had to take a course
in most states you had to. Yes.
Right. And so kind of something similar to that. Like you can't buy this unless you.
Yes, because you could be an idiot and you could blow your hand off. But at the same time, it's an annoyance to most people that every single time they want one of those, they got to send in their fingerprints, they got to send in this, they got to send in all of this nonsense. And it's just like, why? And you got to pay for a 473. You know, you get your and so it's an annoyance, I think, to most people. And I think that's it's the same argument that I have with it's the same argument I have with the states and especially the states, including currently Tennessee, who don't just do a NICS check, but they also do a state check. And what they do, and Colorado is really bad about this. So let's say that, and CloverTac, I know this would never happen to you, but let's just say that you had a ticket in your car.
No.
And, you know, they give you 60 days to go pay the ticket or go to court, and your life, you know, life gets busy. SHOT Show's coming up. You just forget about it. Well, you got a bench warrant, CloverTac. And you don't know that, right? But you got one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they just run a NICS check, that doesn't show up. And you get your gun when you go down to the gun store. But if they run a, you know, in Colorado, if they run a CBI check as well, which they don't call it that. There's a name for it. Like in Tennessee, it's TICS. So you get NICS and TICS.
TICS, that's a stupid fucking name.
Yeah.
TICS.
TICS, yeah. TICS.
The TICS.
Yeah. So you get both the NICS check and the TICS check. Well, and I'm going to tell you something about Tennessee does. It's fucked up, and I'll tell you that in a second. But in Colorado, if you have any kind of bench warrant, it could be for traffic court, it could be because you didn't pay child support on time, it could be anything. They'll deny you.
Wow.
And you can't buy your gun. They'll deny it. And that's against the law because you're not a prohibited person. But because you have this court case, you have, you know, that could be it could be a civil court case. You could have just decided that your neighbor's suing you and you just said, fuck that guy, I'm not showing up for court.
Right.
And but it shows up that you didn't show up for court. You got a bench warrant out for your arrest. You can't have a gun. Right? And that's fucked up. Tennessee is one step above that in some counties, including mine. Or it used to be mine. I don't know if this is still the case. But let's say you go down to Walmart and they have a Henry rifle sitting in the case, and you're like, I need another one of those. Let me go ahead and get that. They run it because our Walmart still have guns in them. I know not everybody's does, but our Walmart still.
Long guns and long gun ammo, anyway.
Long guns, long gun ammo. No more pistols and no more pistol ammo. Although I think maybe they do carry pistol ammo. I think they might carry.
And no semi-auto. I should back that up and go there. No, except for 22s, there's no semi-autos here either. 22s and shotguns, I should say.
I'll have to look because I think I've seen like a mini 30 or something recently, but I could be wrong.
There's not here.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. So if you go in there and again you've missed court, or whatever whatever happened, you fail your TICS check.
God,
they will the police will come and arrest you.
Of course they will.
Because I was actually in a gun store one day where a guy who apparently had not paid his parking tickets or some shit. But and so he had a bench warrant out for his arrest. Right. He did that was legitimate, 100%. But it was for like parking tickets or some shit. And because they ran a TICS check on him, he's sitting there waiting to get his gun. The cop shows up, puts him in handcuffs, and carts him off. Now he's got to go bond out, all that. This is my problem with the whole fucking thing, CloverTac. The whole fucking thing. And I think that's a problem a lot of people have with the NFA. A lot of people are like, well, it doesn't matter. It's just a background check. And I'm like, yeah, it's just a background check until something fucks up somewhere. And then it becomes a problem for you.
Mm-hmm.
And just because it's not happened to you, like again, now I was denied once in Colorado. I wasn't arrested or anything. You know, they said, hey, you know, you have a very common name. And so you probably ought to put your social security number down when you put it in. And I'm like, at Gander Mountain, why would I do that? Like those aren't even real employees, right? Like, why would I do that? That's dumb. But anyway, I have a thing about Gander Mountain and firearms back when they did that. But yeah, man, it's never happened to me. But what if it did? You know, I got to sort it out. Now I got to figure it out. I don't want that shit, and I don't care. I don't. The mantra of public safety just doesn't hit for me. You know, that doesn't hit. So I don't know. I think the biggest problem I have with the NFA is all of the hoops you have to jump through. If honestly, if it were just the $200 tax, I would not like it, but I'd probably go with it. But it's everything else. It's literally it used to be 6 months to a year of waiting. Now, of course, once everybody complained, and it looked like the courts were going to do away with NFA because of the time it took. You know, now they straighten that shit out. But look how long it took them to do it.
Well, we don't know how it's going to be now.
Right. That's true. That's true. But
we'll see, because they had e-forms down there for a while. I don't know if they're back up or not, but
yeah, it was just really funny how and I believe it was another case out of Texas, when the Texas case came through, and one of the biggest claims that they made was that it was taking a year for someone to get their legally purchased item, and gun shops were having to literally hold on, you know, have a completely separate safe in their building and hang on to these things for a year or longer. It was shocking how when that went to court as one of the challenges, that all of a sudden it went from a year to 6 months to 3 months to 7 days. And now I hear people getting them back in 3 days.
Prior to the first of the year, and I say prior to the first of the year, before they shut down I think they shut down the e-farms in December. So it's definitely prior to that, probably sometime in November. I was definitely seeing, I haven't looked since then, honestly, but as of a couple months ago anyway, it was literally hours. I would have somebody come in, buy a can, do everything on the kiosk, and literally get approval the next day.
Yeah.
Literally get approval the next day.
Yeah,
So like less than 24 hours.
And why couldn't they do that the whole time? That's a question I have. Why was it only when that it was you know, a point of contention in the legal case did it become fixed? You know?
I don't know. I mean, it kind of gets back to what you had said earlier too. It does make you wonder, like we see the forward facing people with these bureaucracies, right? So we see the Pam Bondis and we see the Cash Patels and we see the whoever's, right?
Yeah.
But let's be honest, the people actually doing the work, the rank and file, everyday people, like we never see those fuckers.
And they stay there every administration.
So it makes me wonder, like, does the rank and file, does the head end know what the ass end's doing a lot of times? So
right.
Does the people that give a shit at the ATF even know that that's a problem? Right? Do they even realize? Do the people that can make the decision on adding more staff or, you know, computerizing things and streamlining the process, do the people that give a shit or care about that, do they even know? Do they know that that's an option? Do they know that they could do it? Like, there's a lot of questions around all that.
Well, it is a government agency.
It's like, well, maybe they do, right? And they just don't give a shit until they're forced to, or maybe they legit don't know until they're forced to. You know, that's a possibility.
I mean, it certainly is possible. That could be a very real thing.
It should be neither fucking one, right? The correct answer is D. Neither. Like,
Right.
they shouldn't be on any fucking list. We shouldn't have to fucking worry about it. We should
Yeah.
just be able to go buy the shit.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I'll go with it. 100%. Let's yeah. I mean, and those are the people that are there every single administration, right? Like we were talking earlier about, well,
The
this is the Trump.
bureaucrats, man. And let's be honest, dude, our government is, for the most part, that's the problem. It's ran
Yeah.
by bureaucrats. It's ran by them. Like, it never changes, because
Right.
that's why it never changes. Is the same people, administration after administration, are in the bureaucracy, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and that's actually one of my issues with. I've been watching the Armed Scholar a lot lately, and
I'm
or
sorry.
I've watched him a long time, but it's tough to watch some of his stuff now because he's constantly like the Trump Trump's ATF, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, kinda, but the rank and file are all the same people that have been there since. I mean, some of them probably been there since Bush.
It's
You
not
know?
longer. I'm sure there's
Not
people
longer.
that's been there.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people that's been there 20 fucking years, dude. There's
Yeah.
retiring from the government is a thing, bro.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And so it's hard for me, and as much as I want to like blame Biden for the thing with the FRT, you have to wonder if it's just some bureaucrat somewhere that's just like, yeah, okay, that's what we're going to do. That's kind of how we're going to handle it.
Could
Right.
be.
Some unelected, unappointed, faceless, nameless person that actually has this kind of power.
Right.
That's their department, and that's what they do, is they make this decision. And right or wrong, the people above them just go, yeah, okay. So yeah. Hey, Gorilla Polis is out in the chat. Good to see you.
Is he? It's about fucking time he found the new channel.
Yeah. Wandered on in right as we're getting ready to kind of wrap up. You told me not to do a 6-hour ordeal.
Yeah, I'm not going 6 hours. I got shit to do, man.
I didn't realize that Brian and I had been on like 6 hours. I looked down and I'm like, holy shit.
Prattle. I hung around for like an hour. I had it on. I was listening. I'm like, motherfucker, they're still going. I got shit I got to do.
Yeah.
And I went to the gym.
Well, you can listen to it on your drive from Texas.
I come back, you were still on, and I was like, fucking shit. So I sit there, listen to it for a little while longer, and then it's like, holy crap. Like, it was a marathon. What'd y'all go for? Y'all had to go in 6 or 8 hours. How long?
I'm sure we went 6 hours, and
yeah,
it'll be a good thing for you to listen to on your drive from Texas to Vegas.
Right. Well, I probably caught, if it was 6 hours, I probably caught about half of it, close to it anyway.
I mean, it was good. The whole thing was good. It wasn't like we were like, just like nonsense. It was,
well,
hopefully,
for
sure.
Hopefully you'll get the shot, and you'll be able to get some contacts and network and book some people for the future. And hopefully you'll learn that, especially if you're going to put this shit in the audio world, more than a couple hours. You'll need to go more than about a couple hours.
Yeah. Well, it's hard. I can bounce around these subjects really pretty quickly. And then I'm like, okay, this is what it is. Now some of the live gun content should be range from really pretty short to could be pretty long, because that's then you're handling things, and you got to take things apart, put things together, or show hey, this is what this is, and so we'll see. You didn't feel well, man? I'm sorry. I was just Kakatibi just messaged me over on Discord. I'll have to cut this out of the final thing, but Kat just messaged me and said that she's recovering from a extreme neck migraine and other episode. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. I asked if she's okay. Yeah, maybe there's something going around. Of course, there's always something that happens at SHOT Show. Everybody gets sick at SHOT Show.
Not necessarily but after, for sure.
Yeah.
I swear, man, that when did COVID happen? whenever COVID happened, it happened in like what, February or March or one year, like
Mm-hmm.
shortly after shot. I swear, especially with all the foreign people and everything else that's at shot, um, dude, like we left shot, and at that time we were leaving on Friday evening and driving all the way back to Flagstaff. Um,
Mm.
Now we stay over Friday night and we leave out in the morning.
Mm.
Um, but we did not even get out of we did not even get out of if you know anything about Vegas, you got Vegas and
Mm-hmm.
head south, you got Henderson
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Boulder, and we didn't even get out of Henderson.
Wow.
Um, and I was sick as a dog. And my poor wife drove the vast majority of the way home.
Mm.
Uh, 90% of the trip was her driving, unfortunately, and me doped up on medications. And I swear to this day, I was like, I must have ran into patient zero for COVID. Must have, because
Yeah. I
it
mean,
was
so
terrible.
it's
Now, at
funny.
that time, there wasn't any COVID test, right? So I don't know this,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
It was an interesting thing because I was on but right before COVID started happening, because it started happening like January of um, of 19 or whatever it was,
Something like that, yeah.
and so in November I had gone on a cruise, and I was sick the whole time, and like just like
Let me
kind of
ask you. Let me ask you
kind of
something about
walking
your.
winded, but I mean I was coughing constantly,
Let me
sneezing, runny nose.
let me ask you something about your cruise.
Yeah,
Did
man.
because that was Alaska, right?
No, the one before COVID was
Oh,
to the
that was the
Caribbean.
recent one. Was like, okay, tell your
Yeah,
story. Tell your story. I
yeah,
got a question about the Alaska thing, but
yeah.
tell
Okay.
your story.
Yeah, so when I was in so we went down to the Caribbean, and I was sick pretty much the whole time, like uh and it was just like I had like a really bad head cold that wanted to be flu, right?
Mhm.
Like it just did.
Yeah,
And I was totally miserable the last 2 days on the boat. Then we get off the ship, go to the hotel, and I take like um I got like some like near prescription strength like Sudafed or some crap like that. Stuff you have to ask the pharmacy to get for you because in
right,
Florida they keep it locked up.
right.
Because meth. And
Yeah, Florida man, baby.
well, because Florida man, that's right. And so I I was like just perfect right after, like I was just like, oh, done, cool, awesome, back to normal. And then we get back a couple of weeks later. Um, well, like literally like first couple of weeks in January, everybody's like, oh, there's this new thing. It's it's could be an epidemic or whatever. My wife had actually gone. I guess maybe we actually went in December and not November, but so my wife had actually, so we got back from the cruise, and then like a week or so later, my wife went to China um,
Well, that
for
probably wasn't good.
a few days. And while she was over there, that's when all of the COVID stuff actually started happening. And she's
Right,
like, can't leave the house, can't, having everything's delivered. And she was over
right,
there for like a week or two. And then, so it was like February 19th or something like that. Trump was closing down all flights from China. And she got on the last flight out of China.
wow,
And she said there were only Americans
wow,
on there, and they had to sit like a seat apart and all that.
right, wow.
And of
Even
course,
though they're all in a big metal fucking tube with recycled air,
right,
you got it's
right,
just
and
like
of
that's
course, had to
fucking
wear the
stupid.
mask. Had to
That's
wear the
fucking
mask.
stupid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to cut
Like
this.
if you're in that plane, you're fucked. It doesn't matter where
Yeah,
you're sitting.
yeah. And so, and she never. And then so she did.
Stupid.
Um, she stayed in the apartment in New York for I don't know, like 2 weeks, and then she's like, "Should I do another 2 weeks?" Um, and just whatever. And I'm like, I mean, do whatever you want to. Your call.
Right.
I'm like, I think you ought to come back to Tennessee, but because
Right.
they were starting to talk about closing New York,
Right.
and then right after that, like a week later, she's like, nobody's coming into the office. Like people on her floor, or people on the floor below, people on the floor above. Sometimes people on her floor would get catch COVID or
Right.
whatever, or get sick and think they had COVID, whatever. And she's like, do you think I should? She called me like it's like a Tuesday or something. She's like, do you think I should fly back now because they're talking about closing the city and no flights out? And I'm like, if it were me, yeah, I would. I would get out of there.
No shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and so she stayed like another couple of days, and then she jumped a plane and got back to Tennessee. So, and then she didn't go back to New York for 2 years or something.
Yeah.
I had to go up there during COVID, during their lockdowns, when Tennessee was considered a state that they weren't gonna let you in to New York.
Yeah.
For I had to go to New York City and um, move her out of the apartment there. So I packed everything up and cleaned the apartment as best I could. I had to stay in the apartment. All my food was delivered.
Right.
I was there
I
like 2
had
or 3 days. It was terrible.
I had zero problems during all of that. As a member of Professional Outdoor Media Association, um, I had that like literally qualified as media credentials, and so I could go
Mhm,
and do whatever I wanted wherever I wanted,
mhm,
which was great.
mhm,
Had to use that a couple times,
mhm.
uh, but yeah, I had no issues with any of that really.
Yeah, I didn't have any issues going anywhere I wanted.
I
And
just
here
had
in
that one. I just had that one instance of of shot, and they said or I'd heard and read that COVID was around in like November and December of the year before. Just
mm,
like they didn't know, and people thought it was the flu, and like
mhm,
they just didn't really know yet. And it was
right.
early the next year before they actually knew. So that's why I say I think that's what I had. And then the biggest thing for me, because my wife um, is the infectious disease control nurse, if I can say it right, at the prison of all places. You can imagine fucking COVID in a prison.
Yeah.
And so like she was swamped for 2 years or some shit. I mean, it was her job was insane. Um, and
Yeah.
of course, she would keep getting COVID. So
Mhm.
I never was as sick as I was that
I've never
time in
gotten COVID.
shot. Um, but I have tested positive because she had to take regular
Mm.
tests, and then her test would be positive, and then she would make me take a test and whatever.
Mhm.
But I've tested positive multiple times, but I never was sick other than that one time it shot.
So, other than when I was sick on the boat back from the Bahamas, or while I was in the Bahamas, other than that, I wasn't sick the entire time of COVID. I didn't even have a cold. And although right at the beginning of COVID, when we were still kind of, here in Tennessee, we were kind of laughing about it. I shot a match and I got super dehydrated and I got a
Uh,
fever and my kidneys were like fucked up. And
mhm.
I got super, super dehydrated. And my wife thought for sure I had COVID. And then we went down. And of course I
Well,
didn't. And
yeah.
so I never tested positive for COVID. I've never, um, my wife got COVID. I was lit in the hotel room the whole time. Never, never tested positive for COVID. My
Wow.
son got COVID. Same deal. I'm around him all the time. Never got it. My mother-in-law's tested positive for COVID like 8 times, and nobody else in the house gets COVID, just her.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
but I just don't. Um, uh, I just never got sick like that. But I'm gonna have to cut all this COVID stuff out of this when I go to editing it. but
Nah.
maybe I won't. Maybe people won't listen this far. But
Nah. It's all
it'll
good.
be boring. But
Not really.
get it.
It's interesting. It's interesting history and how people were affected and whatnot.
Yeah, I knew a doctor at that point in time. This guy who was he was a doctor and he was a race car guy, and we were still buddies at that point. Well, we still are, but you know I don't do race cars anymore, so he doesn't really have a reason to talk to me that much. And he was telling people what complete idiots they were like the whole time. He's like, "This is dumb. I don't know why you're doing this." He's like, "I was part of the response unit with the with whatever reserve army unit that he's part. You know, and he's a doctor, so he does reserve army help. He helps whatever,
Right?
And he's in Texas, by the way. And he bought a tank. That's how cool he is. And apparently that's a thing in Texas. Go and buy a tank. And
why not?
Why not? Got enough room. So he's a really cool dude, but he raised hell with people about COVID. He was just all over it. So, but I'm gonna have to wrap up here. I don't know who just came back in. I see that we got a few more viewers than normal. Guys, please like, subscribe, do all the things. Wednesday will be the day of the day of Gun Prattle. I will be uploading video and mostly pre-recorded stuff that I shoot off, that I don't shoot live, so that I don't get a strike from YouTube. And if I do decide to handle guns live, it will always be on Kick and Rumble, mostly Kick, and just because policies, just policies. But if you want to, so you definitely want to subscribe to the Kick. I will throw that link out there again, and so that you all have it. And otherwise, I will eventually post the. That's not what I want to do. I will eventually post the lives or the pre-records on YouTube, but you will be able to watch them live on Kick. So, not always. Some of this stuff will take takes, or I'll be out at the range and can only do video or whatever, not go live. So, at any rate, I got to go, guys. You guys, it's been awesome. Good talk today, CloverTac. Really enjoyed it. Yeah. We'll always have time for Gun Prattle, and we'll have a great time. We getting ready for SHOT Show, guys. So look for a lot of coverage on that. And next week, I'm hoping to have Keita Bussey back and do a show on movement and moving safely with firearms and things like that. That may be a Kick only stream, because she may have to use firearms to demonstrate techniques and stuff. I got to talk to her about that. In the meantime, guys, be cool, and we'll see you later.
Bye.